morning, Sagittarius. This is going to be your weekly reading. To be honest with you guys, I was going to skip this week because I've been going through some things of my own. I went through yet another ego death over the weekend, and it was really, really hard, and it took a lot of energy out of me. I haven't been able to do the things I was doing. I've had to take, the last 3-4 days and really just kind of recuperate. And I would like to send a shout out to S Mermaid Tarot here on YouTube, because she reached out to me because she felt like I was going through something, and I really was. It was really very hard, and I was really scared and didn't know what was going on, and really kind of helped me get through that. A lot of fears came up I had to clear, but it ended up being just what I needed to shift into higher dimension, believe it or not. But now, like physically, I'm really, really drained, so I'm just trying to get my energy back. So that's kind of my spiel right now. That Taurus new moon really took it out of me. Normally, I don't blame it on astrological events, because not all the astrological events affect me at all, but this one really did. And I really feel like it's because some of us, it's our soul blueprint. And, many of us are not even from here. We're otherworldly. We're from other dimensions, other planets. Because our soul, there's no limits to your soul. You can be anything. You could have been anything. And you could have been all of these things at once. And I do believe that's the reason why some astrological events like retrogrades, new moons, full moons affect us more than others, depending on where we're from. And I'll leave it at that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Sorry. This is the Three of Swords, of course. And this is all about heartache. And you see this third eye? I take that to be a third eye, because it's right in the middle. And I got that ogre thing going on. This is all about really opening up your heart. And the way that your heart has to open up is by being broken. And this has happened many times. And every time it's happened, you've learned from it. And I'm sensing a lot of ties to the past right now, because you're really making a lot of references to the past. So whenever something comes up in your present moment, it's fear-based energy, because you're pulling from your fears from past heartache and pain. And these fears are blocking you in your connection that you have now. The connection that you have now is not like the others. And so you have to let the past go. The power is in the present. I know when I went through my whole ordeal over the weekend, the guidance that came through for me was several things. Was one, stay present. Whatever is happening in your physical world right now, stop focusing on it. Because when you focus on the pain and you focus on the fears, you energetically feed them. So it took a lot, but I had to shift myself out of that energy. And I focused on myself. What do I need right now? And instead of obsessing about someone else, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? Where are we at? What is our label? What is this connection that we have? Instead of doing that, I decided to be like, okay, how do I think right now? What do I think right now? How do I feel? It's all about me. So I really had to pull it back to myself. And that ended up being the magical energy. To clarify that card, we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. But how do you do this? You actually do this by clearing those fears. Because believe it or not, and I keep saying this, and I'm having a hard time describing it. The physical, anything that's happening in the physical are illusions. Okay, I say this all the time, and it's like I believed it, but yeah, I still would get all wrapped up in it too. Like all obsessed about it and upset about it. But over the weekend when I went through, hopefully my last ego death, man, I was in there. I was in that dimension, and it was almost like I was in the control center. And I could actually see how my fears are what have been creating my current reality. And then I judged it. But see, this is the even deeper part. This is the even deeper part. This is another layer to it. Okay, so I have been knowing that fears create the physical illusions. And so I've been trying not to let that happen. I was like, all right, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to stay positive, and I'm not going to focus on my fears. Well, all my fears came out. It was like I was in a vortex, and I couldn't even control them anymore. And they took over me, and I broke down. And when I did that, then I judged it, and I was like, oh man, now I really messed up. But you know what? That was the energy that I needed to shift. So what I'm getting at with this is that even though I did go into those fears, and those fears did manifest a shit that I was scared of, I was able to face those things and clear those fears. Finally cleared those fears and raised my vibrations. And I feel like I actually moved into the 5th dimension. So the very thing that you're the most scared of is exactly what you need. This is going to be a long video because it's taking me a while to express the energy. And then I know I'm telling personal stories, but that's the way that I get my message across. All right, we have the 4 of Cups. And this is a waiting energy. Sorry. This is a waiting energy. This is waiting on somebody else to come in and make you happy. But this is not how relationships work. Relationships work to raise our own consciousness and to show us our own shadow side so that we can become conscious and we can become aware of it, and we can clear stuff out, kind of like I did over the weekend. You have to really be careful, and you have to ask yourself, why do you want this person in your life? Is it because of how they make you feel? Is it because you want them to come in and make you happy? Those are conditions, and that is not love, because there are absolutely no conditions in love whatsoever. There's no such thing as conditional love. There just is love, which is without conditions. So if you're wanting someone to come in because you like the way they make you feel, you feel like you'll finally be complete and happy when they're in your life, well, then you need to go back to step 1. You really need to check yourself, because that is not the right energy to be in to actually magnetize that person to you. That's if they're for you. And the way that you know somebody's for you is to send them out, let them go, work on yourself, focus on yourself, and your soul will magnetize them back if they're for you. If not, they will naturally fall off on their own accord, because once you start working on yourself and having healthy boundaries and clearing codependency, if they're not for you, they can't even, you're not even in alignment with them. They can't even be around you anyway. All right, so we have, to clarify this card, we have rain, purification. And this is all about that alchemy. And how do we alchemize or purify? we do that by clearing our fears and sending them out and releasing them back into love. And how do we do that? We do that by facing them and by accepting them. I had to do that this weekend. I had to say, you know what? I'm so scared, but you know what? I love myself anyway because I'm fearless and I'm courageous and I'm strong. So really find a way to turn your fears into love. But do that for yourself first and foremost, because that is your foundation. That is your base. The King of Pentacles. This is, I really feel like you've been manifesting all kinds of things into your life in the physical realm, as far as finances, maybe a better job, money in the bank. This is all about the physical realm. And the King of Pentacles is a practical king. He's all about finding practical solutions. So the other message that's coming through with this too is that you cannot think your way through a spiritual journey, a journey back to your soul. You cannot think your way back to it. There's nothing logical about it. And there's a certain amount of disbelief, of questioning. You know, it's almost like the energy that I'm getting is you've had all kinds of miraculous things happen lately, all kinds of connection to the spiritual realm. And so you really see how this all works. However, you're still doubting it and you still feel like you are doing it. You have no control whatsoever. Control is an illusion. So even though you are manifesting by setting your intentions and stuff, the universe is bringing these things to you. So start by showing gratitude for one. And second of all, stop doubting everything that you see in the spiritual realm. Miracles do happen every day. It's all about having faith. And we have faith even when we can't see the results yet. And to clarify this card, know who you aren't. Find clarity in clutter. There's more than one way to read a map. So this is really what I'm getting with that. You are not a human having a divine experience. You are a divine being having a human experience. And whatever's happening in the physical realm right now is not real. It's not. You are creating these by where you vibrate at. And so do know that. And also, as far as finding the clarity in the clutter, that is that mental energy that I was getting too, as far as doubting. You're so connected and so grounded in the physical realm that you can only believe what you see with your own two eyes. Use this eye. That message came through. There's more than one way to read a map. So this is changing your perspective, really flipping it around. If something negative happens, turn it around, find a different way to look at it and watch it change. It's such a beautiful thing when you have two different ways of looking at everything, a positive or a negative. Always take the high road. That is how you manifest. A tradition. And this is the second time this has came up for me in a reading this week. This is why I started doing the all signs reading, because it is a collective consciousness. Now, granted, every sign is going to have like their own energy, but the collective humanity, the one consciousness every week seems to still be the same theme. And the theme this week seems to be, in your relationships, do release how you expect it to look. We have been programmed as human beings to only see a relationship in one way. And that is being exclusive, having rules, having restrictions, We're going to go public. Everyone's going to know we're together. You know, we're going to walk down the street holding hands. We're going to communicate every single day. We're going to let everyone know that we're together. And we're going to get married. We're going to settle down, and this is how it's going to be. You know, that tradition. But, you know, and I've said this before, and I trigger people all the time when I say this, but human beings were not meant to be monogamous. Now, am I saying go out here and be a swinger, be polyamorous, or anything like that? And I'm not taking away from anybody who does those things. To each his own. No, but what I'm saying is, it goes back to that pure love without conditions, without fears. Let somebody else have their space and their freedom. For one thing, they might have to go out away from you for a while, have their own experiences. You have yours, and you guys come back together. Or you guys get together and you don't monitor their every move. You don't restrict their freedom, their personal space, their privacy, because you trust them. And with this being said, when you don't have those rules and restrictions on someone, guess what happens? They don't go anywhere. Why would you? If you had a relationship where you were free to grow and have freedom and expand your soul, why would you want to leave to more than likely go out and be in a restrictive, fear-based, conditioned relationship? See, this is the paradox. It really is. I know when I have rules, I tend to be quite contrary. Rest and rejuvenation. So basically what I'm getting from this card is that really listen to your body right now. I know I had to really pull back my energy, and I had to rest. I know I need to be out here making money. I know I need to be doing this. I know I need to be doing that. But you know what? My body said, stop. You need to rest. So I had no choice but to honor that. And plus, I was in that push, that control, that fear-based energy where I still was trying to make everything happen myself. Now I kind of fell back. I've taken 4 days to kind of rest and regroup. And, you know, I've had some answers to some problems that just kind of landed in my lap when I stopped trying to push. Sorry, my allergies are bad today. We have the Two of Pentacles. And this is two choices. I'm really getting that you are torn between two things. And this is once again you trying to use your head instead of your heart, instead of using your soul. A lot of times we have to just surrender the outcome to the universe and ask for the highest possible outcome. I would like to have divine selection. I might not know what's best for me, but bring whatever is supposed to be mine by divine right to me in the highest possible way. And in the meantime, I am going to rest. I'm going to rejuvenate. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to focus on any type of signs or synchronicities that come through from the universe, and I'm going to believe them because the universe has my back. It's an abundant place, and miracles happen every day. To clarify that card, we have the dreamer, visions, trance, apparitions. So you're being divinely guided. And so whatever type of guidance that you're receiving or whatever type of signs that you're receiving, do believe them. Everything doesn't have to make sense to you. That is such a beautiful energy too. And so understand that is that whole, there's more going on than what meets the eye. So that Four of Swords, left to die, just feeling betrayed and lied to and cheated on, all these things. But this is that whole, don't judge things as being bad right now, because everything is happening for a reason. If people are leaving, let them. Let people leave. and let them come back to you if they're meant to be with you, because obviously you need this time. Your soul orchestrates things so that you can have space and you can have this time to rest and rejuvenate. So use it wisely. It's a gift from your soul. It's not a curse. It's not because the universe doesn't love you. Your own soul orchestrated this time because you needed it. So you can be clear on what you want so that your energy, it says here, my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. So you need this time right now so that you can really be clear about what that is. We have the courtship card, and the message that I got with this is to stop rushing. Stop rushing. Time is just an illusion anyway. There's nothing but energy. And if you could really see, really pay attention to sometime to the timelines. I've had it described to me like a chessboard, and every square on that chessboard is a timeline. And in its energy, we align to those different timelines. And sometimes we can jump timelines. Our goal is to get to the highest possible timeline. And how do we do that? We focus on the present moment. We focus on ourselves. We do not obsess about circumstances and people. We release that. We do not focus on them. We focus on ourselves. A lot of times people consider you to be very selfish when you do this. When you put yourself first, people consider you to be selfish. You're self-centered. You know what? We are programmed to think that, to feel guilty about putting ourselves first, but don't. So do take your time. What happens in courtship? You take your time to get to know people. But what I'm getting from this is take the time to get to know yourself. Go inward. Take this journey inward and really focus on yourself. That is the magical energy. And community. This could mean that somebody is being guided. This could be those choices. Somebody's being guided to take a leap of faith and move, and to leave the home that they know. And they're still kind of scared. They're in, they're in the stage here where they're like, well, I still don't know. I don't know all the details. I'm still trying to get to know this person. But I'm feeling that there's a new community waiting for you out there. A brand new life. And this could be you rebuilding your life where you are now. This doesn't necessarily have to mean leaving your town. This could be a fresh start that came through for somebody. The Scythe. Now, I haven't been reading these, like the message on here. I read cards intuitively. I read the energy. But with this Scythe, and I hope I'm saying that right, please don't consider me ignorant if I'm mispronouncing it. We cut things out. Use that to cut things away. So this is all about releasing things that no longer serve you. And it goes along with this tradition card too. And this could be beliefs also. Beliefs or people or circumstances that we no longer resonate with, that we've been trying to hold on to. All right, well, I have got this postcard from Spirit. Let's see if I can get situated here to where I can read it. Dearest you, sometimes it's wonderful to give, but there are times you might find yourself overgiving. And now might be a good time to check in and see you might be cutting off the flow of abundance. Let others give to you, even if you are more comfortable being generous and being the giver, the healer, the rescuer. In the art of living, we sometimes overlook an important skill, receiving gracefully and with gratitude. without diminishing yourself or trying to deny vulnerability or bringing an agenda of equality to it. Receiving is hard for some people, maybe you. You do not need this for that. In your exchange with others, you're doing good in the world. Let the world give back and support you. Then you can give up the old stories that you have convinced you have to do everything alone with no help. Let your well be filled. We all love you so much. So do definitely check any areas where you're overgiving out of codependence, because I'm really sensing a lot of codependency with this card. Maybe in your attempt to hold on to people, you're overgiving. And this goes back to giving to yourself, getting to know yourself, starting with yourself, and having that foundation and really pulling it back and focusing on your fear of loss right now, because you cannot lose anything that is yours by divine right. Understand this, you just can't. And that's how you know what's for you. That is how you know what's for you, when you cannot lose it. It just keeps coming back over and over again. But every time it comes back, it's better than what it was before, because you're doing your work and you're purifying and you're alchemizing and you're magnetizing this perfect love back into your life. That is beautiful. Well, this is your weekly reading, Sagittarius. If you would like to have a personal reading and I can let you know what's blocking you, what kinds of things you need to work on, and I can give you some clarity in your life as far as in direction, as far as anything you might need to let go of, or what you can do to magnetize instead of repel. That is the important thing here. Thank you very much.